As we already know, Talency as an organization helps people to develop and churn their life skills more smartly and efficiently by making a better version of themselves. So we are here with another topic, that is communication mindset and personal transformation. In order to get a great communicator, we need the right mindset. But how do we build that mindset? As we have control over our attitudes and actions, how and why do we need self transformation? This is the question. Do you need to turn your life upside down to change ourselves? Let's connect with today's expert to solve our queries. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic.
Great.
So,
So let me introduce you to our audience. In today's session, we have with us Mr. Tauseef Hasan, a visionary leader, keynote speaker, YouTuber, job coach, and a great content creator. With 13 years of experience in project management, he is currently working with British Telecom. He acts as a guide for helping people to work on self-improvement. He has worked with iYogi, Jet King like companies and made an excellent contribution. He has been awarded as Best People Manager. I welcome you, sir.
thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ayushi. I really appreciate that you have invited us and me, and let me share my views on mindset, communication, and transformation. And of course, share my experience on whatever the question that you would have asked.
Sure, sir. So, my first question to you is, how does mindset play a critical role in corporate career development?
So, in order to understand and answer this question, I would like to take you back to our childhood. So imagine that time. Let's say that Ayushi is like 6, 7 or year old year,
Mhm.
little chubby, and that very, I would say active and super active girl, and she's trying to learn the bicycle. That is
Okay,
a real test. That is a real test of the mindset. So what happens when you start to learn the bicycle? You fall. Then
exactly.
you again try to start to learn how to ride the bicycle. You actually you jump onto the bicycle seat and you start riding again, and you then again fall. But do you stop riding the bicycle, or do you stop learning the bicycle? No, right?
No,
So what really happens is that you do not quit. You show a character of resilience, and that's the very important mindset that anybody should have. But ironically, what happens that as we grow in our life, because of society conditioning, the way the family treats you, the way your friends treat you, the way the people in the corporate make you conscious about the things, you become very conscious, and you become very selective in things, and you feel that I should not try this, I should not try that. So you try to chase perfection, and you forget about believing in the pursuit of progress. You chase the pursuit of perfection. In chasing the pursuit of perfection, you actually don't even try things. Why? Because you feel that, what if I fail? What if I don't become successful? And this is a mindset. Remember one thing: mindset is nothing but the level of beliefs that we hold in ourselves. For example, if you ask me to buy a pair of shoes, I will always buy a pair of shoes which I like. Maybe I like a black pair of shoes. Why? Because somebody has said that black suits you. So whether or not I like the black shoes, but somebody has validated it, so I would buy the pair of shoes which is black. Similarly, we hold such beliefs right from our childhood to the time when we become adult, and that 20 to 25 years of conditioning actually create a program in our mind, and all the decisions that we take comes from the way we think, and all the thinkings, the thoughts that we have, comes from the way we believe, and our belief resides from the program that we have conditioned towards, and this forms a mindset. For example, uh, let's say, take my example. If you ask me, what is your perception about money? Up until I would say 2018, I used to believe that money can't buy happiness, right? That is what I used to believe. But I transformed this belief. So similar to like this, like similarly, there would be a lot of beliefs that you would hold. But ask yourself this question: does this belief help me? If this help me transform my life, it is fine. If this does not support me, if it is against me, it is not for me, then I will transform this belief. Like another example, I should not share my finance with my partner. Why the hell should I not share my finance with my partner? She's my better half, so I should do that. So these kind of beliefs forms a kind of mindset, and you can never outgrow your mindset. Now, this is an aspect of it. Like, what role mindset play in corporate? So what happens? You pass out your school, you passed out your college. Now this is the time. So after leaving the formal education, here comes the time of the informal and the real education, because life is the biggest teacher than schools and colleges and the teachers who actually teaches you in the school. Now all of a sudden you realize that most of the things that I learned in the school and colleges are not even relevant. I mean, I have
Yes, sir.
got something new. I mean, whatever the work that I'm getting to work is not even relevant. I have learned alpha, beta, gamma. That has no relevance. I have to prepare Excel sheet. I have to report to my boss. I have to manage my team. And it's absolutely a different experience altogether. Now, because this is quite paradoxical, you have to force yourself to learn new mindset, to have develop new mindset. Now there is a contradiction. Whatever you have learned is not supporting you. Now you are into a complete. So you have reshuffled yourself and you're starting from the scratch again. There are very less number of people who get what they have learned, like the job that they get, which they are passionate about. But majority of the people land themselves into a situation wherein the education does not support them as to what they have learned, and the job that they have got is actually contradictory. So in that, your mindset, like how you behave in different situations, really matters. Like b- having a resilience mindset, having making a good commitment to yourself and not moving away from that, having dedication, having discipline, having consistency, having character in difficult times really matters. Now this is something which we can learn from the association. If we want to transform ourselves, so obviously we now discuss that mindset definitely plays a very critical role, and we have to act like child in certain ways to make sure that we have that mindset where we don't quit. In corporate, a lot of people will hit you with a brick on your head. A lot of people will come and say you did not do this, you did not do that. So don't worry. And that's how the world will treat you. The situation may be more worse than this, but circumstances remain the same for everyone, and that's how it is. But how you respond will determine where you will go, right? If consider a situation that you have been put into a very difficult and very, I would say, difficult situation, and now you don't have any way what to do, what not to do. The only way look out is like, let me go and talk to my manager. That is the easiest path that will be. But
Exactly.
how much you allow yourself to struggle in that journey, how much you allow yourself to put yourself into difficult situation before you ask for help will make all the difference. Because if you always choose the easy path, you will always be dependent on others. So of course,
Exactly.
coming back to your question, your mindset, how you behave in different situation matters a lot, and the way you can transform it. Ask questions to yourself, like if you have not performed well into certain circumstances, afterward ask yourself, how could I have performed differently? How the successful people perform in this situation? How can I model them, right? And that is how you can always transform your mindset.
Sure, sir.
Right.
And if I add this, then I think positive, how do we build that positive attitude in us so that our mindset, our compassion, our energy, our hard work to do things will remain at the constant pace?
Okay. So I would like to confirm my understanding for your questions. Like you want to say that how to have the positive mental attitude, how to build that
Sure, sir.
positiveness
Yes,
so that
sir.
you're always energetic and you perform really
Yes,
well, right?
exactly. Exactly.
Okay. I always go like this. Like if you want to build a positive mental attitude, you always understand what are those things which stops you to build a positive mental attitude. Like, knowledge is knowing what to do, but wisdom is knowing what not to do. So let's focus upon the things which stops us to not to build a positive mental attitude. Number one, your association. There is no point of hanging with the chickens which drains you out of the energy. Maybe some of your friend are they always they are always critical. They are not very encouraging. They always, whenever you meet them, they always say, oh my god, this is something that you have done really bad, and something that I mean I was not expecting, something like that. Those comments, those taunts, it is better to cut off from those kind of people, because toxic people are no different than poisons. They will they will just go ahead and intoxicate you, and they will drain you out of the energy. What would happen? You will feel very low, and you can never have a positive mental attitude in that situation. Number one. Second, your habits. You need to accept that change is the only constant. Now, whatever you have learned, maybe there are certain autonomous habits that you have, the behavioral patterns that whenever somebody pressurizes you, you certainly outburst, right? It is because it's not your fault. It is because this is how you've been behaving from a longer period of time. So you need to be able to figure out what are my characters, what are my attributes which are not supporting me. Maybe it's a quick temper, something that I always have a quick temper. When my mom scold me, when somebody scold me, or when somebody put me into a challenging situation, I always outburst. How can I transform this? Right? I can never have a positive mental attitude if I'm put into a pressure situation and I always outburst and I always get panicked. Right? So, second, third, making sure that you have positive mental attitude, there are certain inputs that you need to perform. So obviously we understood like what are the things that we should not do. Let's understand now what are the things that you need to have a positive mental attitude. So one thing that we discussed about, association, uh, don't have such kind of
Hmm.
relationship, don't have
Hmm.
such company. Second thing that we have discussed about the previous experience, that you need to identify the behavioral patterns, the habits that you have formed over a
Habits.
period of time which are not supporting you. And of course, now you have to redevelop some new habits which can help you to have that positive mental attitude. I always strongly advocate that you should always exercise and meditate.
Hmm.
Number one reason why you should always meditate. So you might have heard about this meditation word. It's a buzzword these
Yes,
days,
sir.
and in the market, everybody's talking about meditation.
It makes you
But
concentrate on things and you can like better focus on things.
absolutely. So easier said than doing. Do the meditation because your brain is the most important and significant organ of your body, right? If your brain is healthy, you will always feel healthy, and this is what controls your entire nervous system and the body that you have. Exercise because your body supports your mind. If you feel fit, if you feel healthy, you'll always think healthy. So do it. Number one, meditation, exercise, and change your association. Stay with positive people. You need to transform this, like right from the negative people. So as they say that you are the average of 5 people that you hang around with. If you hang around with poor and miserable people, your life will be poor and miserable. If you hang around with successful people, you will also become successful, because like for like, what you see, what you perceive, what you observe, you adopt those things automatically. So hang around with the right people to have the positive mental state. Read. Reading can seriously damage your ignorance. And there are a lot of things that we neglect over a period of time. There are a lot of things that we don't even know. There's something called we don't know what we don't know. And another thing is called we don't know what we know. Then something is called we know what we don't know, and then we know what we know. So these are the four quadrants. Going
I,
from we don't know what we don't know to we know
hmm.
what we know is a self-discovery. Like we are absolute ignorant. We don't know anything about, I don't know what I don't know. Now I know what I know. So I am self-aware. I am becoming more and it's not a goal, it's a journey. Nobody can reach to the perfection. Life will always surprise you, and you will always surprise yourself as well, because you will get to know about yourself more and more as you go in life, as you grow older, and as you meet different people, as you experience new things, as you travel new places. So it's a journey. So it's always advisable to have put yourself into such things, become self-aware and start reading. Reading is very important. As somebody has said that if you want to develop new ideas and thoughts, read 100-year-old books. Right? So reading can seriously damage your ignorance. So obviously, if the level of ignorance is slightly lower, the level of awareness will always automatically go down. So it's very proportionate. Like if the level of ignorance is high, the level of knowledge and awareness will definitely be low. So you have to keep your level of ignorance down by reading, by watching good podcast, by hanging around with the right set of people so that you can have good ideas and all. And that is how you can build a positive mental attitude. And one more thing, it's not you, if you're someone who always chase some like perfection, who always chase like a who hop from one shiny object syndrome to another one, and who have a very very short term gratification, then I'm sorry, you're not going to develop that attitude. It requires a constant pursuit of efforts, continuous efforts. See, that's why people say that you lose motivation. Why you lose motivation? Because
Because we are not
motivation,
consistent, I think.
absolutely, motivation is temporary, inspiration is permanent. So if you really
Nice.
have to learn from someone, get inspired. Inspiration is backed by a reason. Motivation is very, very ephemeral, I would say, very, very short lasting. Inspiration is long lasting. So that is the reason, if because we know that motivation is short lasting, so we have to motivate ourselves again and again and again. And we need both of the things. We just don't need inspiration. We need motivation every day, every moment, and we need inspiration as well. That's how you can remain in positivity. That's called flow state. Imagine a moment that you forgot your body need, you forgot to drink the water, you forgot to eat the meal, you forgot to do something. Somebody is calling you, so engrossed in doing something that you don't know is somebody's calling you. At times, if I'm doing something that I really, really love, my mom will push me and say, Tauseef, I'm calling you. Why are you not listening to me? I'm, I would say, I don't know. I was busy in something, even if she was sitting beside me. And that's called flow state. Because when you are positive, when you radiate positiveness, the world start to attract people to yourself, towards you, who are positive. And the world is the world. It will remain the way it is. But how you perceive it, how you see it, will change the course of your life. So these are the things that will help you to boost and build the positive mental attitude.
I think that's an fantastic answer to my question.
Thank you.
So I think we must be consistent with our efforts and not just be settled to short-term goals.
Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely. So I would like to add upon to here, Simon Sinek says that you need three things in life to be successful. One is discipline. No matter how much successful you are, no matter how much money you make, if you're not disciplined, it's it's uh, it's a very short period of time that you're going to lose everything back. So discipline is very important. Second, consistency. Like if you have achieved success, sometimes it is easier to be successful, but to sustain that success is very difficult. So be consistent. And last but not the least, clarity. Even before everything, even before discipline and consistency is clarity. Clarity is nothing but self-awareness, awareness of things, awareness of people, awareness of business, awareness of yourself, awareness of relatives, awareness of anything and everything around you. So clarity, consistency, and discipline. These are the three things that you need to become successful. Don't leave them.
I think our audience is so clear with the question and the answer you gave, and they might know now that there's a difference being inspired and being motivated.
Definitely.
So my another question to you is, what do you mean by communication in corporate?
See, communication is not only related to corporate. If I'm talking to my mom, if I'm talking to my son, if I'm talking to my father, if I'm talking to my friend, a girlfriend, a boyfriend, I need communication as well. And we must understand why do we need communication. And by the way, a lot of people, a lot of Indians specifically, mistake communication with English. Communication is not English. Communication is whether you use English, whether you speak Marathi, Gujarati, Punjabi, Hindi, Odia, any South Indian language, and you're able to pass on your message to the other person and the other person is able to understand, is the communication. If I'm saying that I love you and you really mean it, I really mean it and you understand it, I have communicated my message. And if I say this the same thing in Chinese and you don't understand this, what's the point of it? Right, Ayushi? So communication is not only related and specific to corporate. Communication is a holistically required, worldwide accepted skill that everyone must understand and develop. And I feel that a lot of students and a lot of professionals, they, because of the fact that in India, people prefer jobs over businesses, and it's not our fault, this is how we have been conditioned. They feel that we need to speak well, we need to learn English only because we want to do the job, so we don't want to fail. That's our mindset. We don't want to fail in the interview, we don't want to fail when we are in the meeting, we don't want to fail when we are in. But why the hell we don't feel that we don't want to fail when we are talking to somebody maybe we have met for the first time? Because communication, you're going to communicate right from the time you were born to the time you will die. And this is one skill you should always develop. So now it's coming back to your question specifically. Yes, in corporate, I can share my experience. So I remember there was a time, one of my boss's boss, he called me and he was coming and I said that usually your manager come and speak to you, but why the manager of manager is coming? I had this suspicion in mind that something is fishy. And at that time, I was handling a new team. I was given a task that I need to develop a new business in the company. And I was doing that dedicatedly. He came and said, Tauseef, can you come with me and bring your laptop? I said, okay, come. He was ahead of me. I was following him. He kept going into different rooms. And I don't know, I didn't even go to that location before because they were for top executives. And he took me a very big board meeting room. And I saw there were 3-4 people. One of them was marketing president, one of them were technical head, and people like this, like 3, 4, 5 people, along with my boss's boss. And I didn't know what was that, but my manager's manager was very casual, and he was looking for some specific answer to my new business that I was developing. The marketing president asked me a couple of questions, and I was so as it happens with a lot of people that if you like if all of a sudden Narendra Modi comes and asks you a question, what would happen? You will go blank, right? You will,
Exactly.
first of all, you will be shocked and surprised what happened. How come in the world it can happen? Similar thing has happened with me. He was asking question and I was kept mum. I couldn't speak. I heard words in my mind. I knew what to speak, but I couldn't speak. That was a very shameful and very embarrassing moment for me. And my manager was looking at me. And when I could not answer to a single question, I started mumbling. He said, Tauseef, very sheepishly, he said, Tauseef, no problem. I'll talk to you later. You may leave the room. And I remember that feeling. I held my laptop in my hand, and while I was leaving the room, I was asking certain questions to myself. Is this a level of communication that I have? and I can't even speak a single word. So I was cursing myself, to be honest. I was thinking, oh my God, I could have spoken this. Why did I not speak this? Why could I have not spoken this? I could have done this. I could have shown myself. I could have proven myself. But all said and done, it was already done. And that was really, really embarrassing. And that was one realization that made me feel that something need to work and I need to improve my communication. So you would not believe that I was so ignorant. I didn't do anything even after the 1 year of that incident. But when I joined uh, a group of some very self-aware people, some very good people on social media, I realized that this communication skills is something that you need to really holistically develop. And I also realized that it's been 3 years, I didn't get my next promotion. So I started developing my communication skills. And I understand that your business communication skill is slightly different from your casual communication skill. Because of course, the way you casually talk in your home and the comfort, the words that you use, of course, you cannot use in the business. You cannot use in the corporate. So corporate communication skill is a skill that you need to develop over a period of time and that you learn by experience. However, there are mentors. For example, I also coach people on corporate communication, the way you handle business meeting, the way you present the slides, the way you interact with the people who are in higher hierarchy with you. There is an art and there is science behind it. And you, the way, for example, if you have been invited before a big boardroom meeting and you are someone who is supposed to start the meeting, end the meeting, and organize everything, what are those pre-short routine that you have to adopt to make sure that you become more presentable, you're able to sound very effectively, and you are able to articulate very well, and you sound with more clarity and with more confidence and express yourself someone like who is a pro. So there are certain pre-short routine that you have to adopt. I learned everything. There was a time when I was about to get promotion, my manager and one of his colleagues was supporting and pushing that Tauseef should get promotion. He should get promoted. It's high time now. He is the most hardworking person in the team. Everything like that. I overheard one of my AVP. He said that सब कुछ तो ठीक है, but ये बोलता नहीं है. Those words went into my ear like the needle of a fire, and it pinched me like anything. That was the time I decided to myself that no matter what happens, I will improve my communication, and I will become fearless. I will become shameless. I'll be student. I will keep my ego aside, and I will learn from wherever, whoever I want. And I think that he can teach me. And I became public speaker. By now, I've spoken on multiple platforms. I have given a lot of keynote speeches. I do podcast every week. And you'll be surprised to know that the same guy who said that सब कुछ तो ठीक है बोलता नहीं, he called me and he said, Tauseef, congratulations. मुझे नहीं पता था कि तू इतना अच्छा बोलेगा. What else do you need? Right? So yes, communication, please don't limit yourself to only corporate. If you speak well at your home, if you speak well with your people, with your friends and family, 90% of the problems are gone because you will be able to speak well in the corporate. The only 10% of the jargons, and you need to be a little bit political, little bit mindful. You'll understand this by experience. So don't limit yourself and start learning communication right now is the best time.
So, according to you, is it necessary to manipulate your conversation so that you can like grab opportunities, especially in corporate world? What's your opinion?
Good question, Ayushi. So there's something called communication, and another thing is called branding. So you might have heard that the best jobs does not go to the best people. It goes to the people who are able to market themselves well. It goes to the people who are able to sell themselves well. It goes to the
Exactly.
people who are able to brand themselves well. For example, I don't know anything, but I'm branding myself. So people, so there is a guy A who is really, really master of a skill, but he's a very poor marketer. He doesn't know how to sell. He doesn't know how to brand. Guy B who doesn't know anything. He's very inexperienced, but he market himself. He'd say that I know this, I've done this, I worked with these people. Who do you think the people will go? The interview will go and
I think
approach,
it's B.
right? Very well understood. So my message to all of the people, no matter how well you communicate, no matter how well you have any expertise, like any subject knowledge, but till the time you don't market yourself, you don't know how to brand yourself, everything is in vain. So you need to be able to know how to communicate one A and how to brand yourself as well. So there's nothing called manipulation. Manipulation is a right, in fact, is a wrong word to use. So there is a difference between manipulation and inspiration. Manipulation is manipulation is getting someone to do something for you where only I am getting benefited. Inspiring someone is getting someone to do something which is helping them and helping me. So it's a manipulation versus persuasion. Sorry, it's not an inspiration. Manipulation versus persuasion. So I would rather use persuasion. I would not manipulate with my managers. And as a leader, you never manipulate. As a leader, you always persuade and inspire. So manipulation is getting someone to do something which will only benefit you. Persuasion or inspiration is getting someone to do something which will benefit all the people.
I
Right?
think that's
So
the I think that's the definition of transformational leader we have with us. The jargon we use nowadays is transformational leader rather than transactional leader.
absolutely. Transactional is like just I bought this and I'm happy with this. It is helping me. Thank you so much. But am I building the relationship? Transformational leader is someone who is building a long-lasting relationship, because ultimately he understands that business depends on the people. If I have good contacts, if I have good relationship, my business will always grow. And that's how I have always been handling my team. I have so far in my 13 years of experience, I have handled 2,000 to 3,000 people. A lot of people are still connected with me over social media, personally on WhatsApp, and they call me and contact me. So it really depends how you see communication. I would say never manipulate, always persuade and brand. So for example, if you're not getting good appraisal, try to persuade your manager. Show the value that you have added. That's where your branding skills will come. Make a good presentation, one slider, and say, these are the things that I have done. I have stretched my shift. I have done overtime. I have done this. I have supported this customer when nobody was there. I need a good appraisal. Now, second situation, doesn't really matter how much amount of work have you done. If you don't tell what you have done, you don't get good appraisal. You get normal appraisal. So you don't, so fundamental thing is you don't get what you don't ask. You ask.
I think that adds to our value proposition of ourselves while you're giving any interview or any issue you are handling with. I think giving yourself a chance to prove what your USP is, that's called the branding, I think.
Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Nestle, they don't feel ashamed to brand themselves. Why you as a person feel ashamed to brand yourself? Go and do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, our next question is, how should one transform himself or herself and get corporate ready?
Corporate ready. Okay. Hmm. I think if I take my example, I was not corporate ready. I was very poor and miserable. I was not good looking. I had a very dark complexion and very poorly spoken. And what better example can I give to somebody than mine? So I was not at all corporate ready. I was not at all ready. So I remember I joined the first multinational organization. The biggest challenge was that I always had this fear hanging around with me over my head that I might get failed in the Q&A round. I might get failed in the communication, and I might not even make it to the out of the training and go to the on-job training. And that fear was with me. It remained with me till the time I cleared my English communication test. But as you know that, so I will give you a little bit of context to make your audience understand it better. So I come from a very small village in Amethi, Uttar Pradesh. Amethi, as you know, that it is very famous for its political reasons in Uttar Pradesh. There is this very small town. It's not even a town, it's a village. So my family background was as such that my grandfather never went to school. I think fourth pass out. My father was 10th failure. My uncle was 9th failure. And when I was age 7, somebody came to my home, one of the neighbor, and scolded my grandfather that why are you not sending him to school? Till the time I didn't go to school. And it was my mom who was educated. She was from Delhi, born and brought up, and she got married to that somebody, I mean, to my father, of course, in the village. So my grandfather always wanted me to work in field, and my mom always wanted me to study and do well in life, as she valued education. So there was always a fight, monetary issues. Like my grandfather would always say that I would not fund the education of your kid. You do whatever you want because he's not working in the field just like other people are doing. He used to give example to my mom that see them, they're lifting so much of weight with grains and all of those things. There came a time, so till fifth standard, I didn't know what was ABCD. It was only sixth standard I started learning ABCD. There came a time my grandfather said that I can't support and I cannot afford the education of your kids like me and my sibling. So we were ousted from the family. So me and my mom and my father, so we were homeless. So it was my Nanaji who supported, and they had their one of the home emptied, who where there was no one living. They said that why can't you just go ahead and live there? So fortunately, I got a good atmosphere there. At least there was an education trend. So I started studying there. So, but I was always curious and passionate about communication. So I remember people used to call me for English commentary in cricket tournaments. Tauseef, can you come and commentate in English? And I would always commentate in my, very, very poor language, but people would still love it because people would not know it. They would not understand English. So whatever I will spoke, tuta fota English, they would love it. And there's somebody is speaking English, man. I've got somebody who commented in English. And that's how my English improvement journey started. But of course, that was not relevant and good enough for the corporate. So when I came to Delhi, uh, I got my first multinational job. I went through the training. When I went to the floor, I started supporting customer. I was ridiculed. I was ridiculed the way I would pronounce few words. I would ridicule the way I would write email. And I overheard a lot of things that, of course, I come from a UP. Someone coming from UP and Bihar never understood English and started ABCD from sixth standard. How can he be so effervescent and efficient and effective to speak English and write English? So that's how I was. And as I have already discussed, how I have transformed myself. So in order to become corporate ready, if you're lucky enough that you got good education from the convent, you don't have to work so much. All you need to understand is how you behave in a professional environment. Because of course you already come up with a good communication skill. All you need to do is you need to polish yourself and behave professionally, right? But if to all those people who come from tier 1 tier 2 cities to tier 1 city, or tier 3 cities to tier 1 city, like somebody coming from UP, Bihar or South India, so, where there is not such a good atmosphere or environment, and you come directly to Delhi, it's very important for them to have a very warrior kind of a mindset and don't quit, because I never quit. And मेरे अंदर ना, I had that hunger of becoming number one. ये मेरी mom ने मेरे mind में, और मैं, and I must tell you that right from the class first to the 12th, I secured first division in my district on a district level. I was a very bright student. And when I came to Delhi, so obviously I had the pressure to support my family financially. So I started doing the job right after the 12th, and I was also doing the graduation, and I was also doing the diploma. So doing so many things just because I wanted to support my family, because my father was just earning 5,000 rupees, and that was not at all enough to fund my education, to support the family. But I would say that is life. And when I now look back at my journey, I feel that those struggles, those adversities, those challenges worked like elixir for me. Those were worth, because challenges and adversities and the setbacks in your life make you more stronger, and they teaches you the one of the life's most best lesson is that you start valuing things, because you only value the things in your life which you don't have. If you have a very nice house, if you have a very nice car, probably you may not value because you already have it, you got it in a gift. But something that you have built on your own, you will always value that. So I value the way I communicate. So I always try to learn something. Even if you are saying, asking question, I would learn what is it new that I can learn from you. So have that kind of a mindset, and you will automatically be corporate ready.
I think that's the answer more relatable to the students or to the professionals who are from like lower segment or the cities or the states where they don't have the opportunities to grow themselves or to groom themselves in
Hmm,
context of communication. I think
absolutely.
consistent effort is more important in order to build your
Definitely.
communication. And I think from your answer, everybody would going to fit in their own ways at that moment when like you need to do that.
See, that foundation, what is it? Understand the foundation. If you understand the foundation, like you need character, you need
Mhm.
resilience, you need clarity, you need consistency. So all these human attributes, if you understand it well and you adopt it well and you implement it well, there is nothing that you cannot learn in the life. Take an example of Elon Musk. He built a rocket just by learning from the book. A lot of people say that you cannot learn how to swim by reading it in the book, but he proved it wrong. He built a rocket just by reading things in the book. There's nothing you can do in life, man. All you need to do, just you need to have right people around you who can make you believe that yes, you can do it.
I think this session is so much motivating to all our audience who is just losing their hope that we are not able to do anything if we don't have communication skills. I think they must connect to you as well as our team so that they can change their mindset, because changing the mindset is very important as we discussed in this session. So, with this, our question ends. And thank you so much, Tauseef, for presenting your thoughts, and your benign presence is so much helpful to us as well as our team.
Thank you
So,
so much. My pleasure.
so our audience can connect to you on the LinkedIn, on your LinkedIn
Yeah,
profile called Tauseef Hasan. And I think we can end this session now. Thank you so much for
definitely.
connecting. It it was
And
nice
I
meeting.
would like to say thanks to you, to Kritika, to your entire Talency team for inviting me, for considering me for this, good interview. It was a good opportunity for me to express myself. I love to express myself, share my story, share my experience, share the valuable things, so that as long as it can make the difference in somebody's life and somebody can change the way they behave and change their results, that's all is that always fulfills me. So thank you so much and really appreciate. You have been wonderful, Ayushi. You asked some brilliant questions and you have been very, very calm and poised. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, bye.
Bye bye.
Wow. I think this is an insightful session for all of us. If you find anything productive, so do hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe, share, and comment on our channel. You can reach out to us on our Talency website and on Instagram and LinkedIn profile. We'll meet you soon with another subject next time. Till then, goodbye and take care.